Hi, Mike Bonicker, ABYC lead instructor, and we're here to talk about the new federal law regarding engine cutoff switches. With us is Matt Majors, and he's going to give us a little more insight into what it is, how it works, how it's enforced. So Matt, besides your involvement as an ABYC board member, tell us about your role with the National Association of State Boating Law Administrators and the state of Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. I am a boating accident investigator with the state of Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, and it's our job to enforce boating safety laws on our waterways. Also, I am the program manager for NASBLA's accident investigation program. So I teach accident investigation procedures nationally to Marine Patrol officers. So what we're talking about today is very important to both those roles I play.
Great. Who does this new law apply to?
Great question, Mike. So it is a federal law and it applies on federal waterways. Now, at this point, there are only 7 states that have engine cutoff switch laws. However, there are other states that have that are kind of in the works. There are 44 states that have engine cutoff switch laws that apply to personal watercraft. You know, this law is designed for the recreational boater in a boat 25 or 26 feet and lower. And the reason behind it is just what you might consider it would be, is safety. Because if an operator is thrown from the helm or is removed from the helm accidentally, we want that boat to stop, and that's what engine cutoff switches do.
Sure. What's NASBLA's message as far as on-water law enforcement when it comes to lanyard use?
Boating safety is the message for NASBLA for sure, and assisting all these other states. The message is we want you to wear those things. Marine law enforcement officers everywhere want you to wear them. So it's going to take a little bit of time for that message to get out, but through enforcement and as well as education, we think we can do that both at the state level and through NASBLA as well.
Great. Are there any waterways in Tennessee where that law applies?
So we have federal waterways in the state, but our challenge is, as state officers, we don't have the ability to enforce federal law. We would have to adopt a state law, rule, or regulation to allow our officers to be able to do that. And that just hasn't happened yet. I think that may happen in the future at the legislature level or with our Wildlife Resources Commission to give ability to our officers to be able to enforce.
Do you know how Tennessee is planning on handling any violations?
Yeah, Mike, anytime new things come along, our officers are definitely not heavy-handed. We would always want to start with a good education campaign, awareness for the boaters, the reason behind the law, and then a whole lot of just good common sense on the part of our officers to educate people in the field. So I think you would see nothing more than verbal and written warnings for a good long amount of time until the public got used to and is aware of this new law.
Besides Tennessee, are you seeing any other states that are launching awareness campaigns as far as getting boaters to be aware of this new law?
You know, there's been quite a bit of talk about it in a number of states. Everywhere I seem to go and travel with NASBLA and teach, there are questions about that. So I think we're really just at the cusp of people trying to learn what it's about, who it applies to, and whether or not it's going to be enforced or it can be enforced. So this is a great place for us because this gets the conversation started. Oftentimes, the only time we ever mention it is when it's in an incident report that deals with an injury or a fatality. And that's too late in my book. So we need to be talking about this well before there's any injuries or death.
Well, that's great, Matt. Thanks very much for all the information. I appreciate your time. May take a little bit of getting used to for some folks, this requirement, especially getting the word out that the requirement is there and that they need to comply with it. But you know, you've shown us some examples that it's not hard to do. So it certainly increases the safety parameters of boating, especially in smaller boats, by quite a bit. Thanks, Matt, for joining us today. Thanks, everybody. And this is Mike Bonicker for ABYC. See you again next time.